Assalamu Alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. How is everyone? Hope that you all are well, enjoying your learning. Okay, today we are solving one more paper, that is Cambridge IGCSE Computer Science paper 1, Computer Systems. It's 0478 paper 13. It's of May June 2025. The duration of the paper is 1 hour 45 minutes. You have to answer on the question paper. No additional materials are needed. You have to answer all the questions. Use a black or dark blue pen. You are allowed to use IG pencil for drawing any diagrams. Write your center name. Write your center number, candidate number, and the name in the given boxes at the top of the page. Write your answer to each question in the given space. Do not use an erasable pen or correction fluid. Do not write on any barcodes. Calculators must not be used in the paper. The paper is of 75 marks, and the number of marks for each question or part question are given in brackets. There will be no mark awarded in case of using the brand names of hardware or software packages. Now, question number 1. A student records himself singing a song for his music project. The recorded sound is converted to binary to be processed by a computer. Give one input device the student can use to record the song. Definitely it's going to be microphone. A 1 mark question. Part B. The student uses sound editing software to edit the recorded sound. Pick one box to show where the sound editing software is an example of application, security, system, or utility software. So what do you think? Which is the right answer? Yes, which one is the right answer? Is it an example of application? Is it an example of security, system, or utility? It's application software, correct? Very nice. Now, the next question, next part. Two binary numbers stored from the recording are 0001101 and 10110100. Convert the two binary numbers to denary numbers. So these are your binary values, and what we have done is we have written 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. We have written the values like 0001101, and simply by adding the values, as you can see, 16, the bit for 16 is on, the bit for 8 is on, and the bit for 1 is on. And when we add it, we get the answer of 25. 16 plus 8 is 24, 24 plus 1 is 25. The next part is 1, 0, 11, 0, 1, 0, 0. So simply adding the values like 128 plus 32 plus 16 and plus 4 gives you the value of 180. So in this manner, if you have done the calculations properly, you have written the answer properly, then you will be able to score the marks very easily. Fine. So 25 and 180 are your marks. Convert the two binary numbers to hexadecimal. Now for that, be very cautious. It says, now it is done in the working space for you to understand how to do it. 0001 is the first nibble and the next nibble is 1001. So be clear, this is what is done. If you just want to do it on your paper directly, you can do it this way also. But then you can see this is the binary for 1 as is shown here, 1248, 1248. And this is the binary for 9 as it is 8 plus 1 is 9. And then for this one, you can see this is 1011 and 0100. So this is how you will get your answer. 1011 means 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 plus 1 is 11. And the binary for 11 is B. The hexadecimal value for 11 is B, that is why B, and then this is the value of 4. So your final answer is B4, and this is what is written here, 19, that is for this one, and the next one is B4. Be cautious, you will not write 11, but you will write instead the hex equivalent of 11, and that is B. Now, a logical right shift of two places is performed on the binary number. Now, this is your binary value, 10100 100. a logical shift of it is performed, and you are asked to do the work. So what will you do then? So you can see here, a logical right shift of two places is performed on the binary number. So this is your value 101, 001, and then double zero. So double zero is going to be definitely removed, and what is left? So you can see 1 is moved here. Every single value will be moved. 1 is moved here, 0 is moved here, 0 is moved here, then 1 is moved here, then 0 is moved here, and your 1 is moved here. And the bits that are actually on the left hand side will be again zeros. So in this manner, your final answer will be 001, 01, 001. And this is how you will be able to gain a mark. Now moving to the next part. The 2's complement, now this part B. The 2's complement 8-bit integer 11001001 is also stored. Convert the 2's complement 8-bit binary integer to denary. Show all of your working. So you can see this is the change that you need to remember. Do not forget that whenever it's your 2's complement, it means that the first change that you need to bring in is converting this 128 to minus 128, and that is done with a different color to make you remember also. The rest of the bits remain the same, like 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, but this 128 becomes minus 128. And you simply replace, like put the values below 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. And then the change is you'll be writing down minus 128 plus, and whichever bits are on, you simply add them, like plus 64, plus 8, and plus 1. And when you add it, your denary value is minus 55. Just a little bit of the revision. If you recall, when the question is dealing with 8 bits 2's complement binary integer, then if you recall the number of bits that are the number of values. Okay, that's wonderful, Ali. It's minus 128 to plus 127. So your values that are stored are definitely going to be changing, and that is the change that you need to remember. 2's complement, binary integer given, converting to denary, that simply replace it with minus 128, and do the same process as you have learned earlier for the conversion from binary to denary. There's no change except for minus 128. Okay, part E. The table contains terms and descriptions about the process of converting analog sound to binary. Complete the table with the missing terms and descriptions. Now, this is a few missing term and a few descriptions. Now, this is the measurement of the height, amplitude of a sound wave taken at regular time intervals. So this is the right term that you can write down, sampling or sound sampling, or a student can write sound sample. So these are the right options. If a student has written any of these options, he'll be scoring a mark. Now, another term that is supposed to be described as sample rate, the number of sound samples taken per second, or the number of samples recorded each second. That is the right answer. Sample resolution, the number of bits that are used to record each sample. So this is how, if you have learned the definitions properly, you will definitely be able to score the marks. 3 marks are yours. Okay, question number 2. A company employee is editing a video for the company's website. Data is stored in the random access memory where, when the video is edited, the RAM becomes full and pages of data are transmitted to a partitioned section of the secondary storage to stop the computer from crashing. RAM becomes full and pages of data are transmitted. Now, just be very clear. Let's highlight the few important terms that we need to remember. The RAM becomes full and pages of your data are transmitted to a partitioned section of the secondary storage to stop the computer from crashing. Give the name of the partition. Now you are supposed to just simply write the name of the partition section of the secondary storage so that it is used in this process, and it is going to be simple, your virtual memory. 1 mark is yours. Be very careful. partitioned area on the hard drive or the SSD to help the RAM is your virtual memory. Secondary storage is a hard disk drive, and HDD is an example of magnetic storage. One feature of magnetic storage is that it uses platters. Give three other features of magnetic storage. So one is given to you, it uses platters. The other features, three other features. So what can you write? Now, uses platters is given. Platters are divided into racks and sectors. Platters rotate to allow the data to be read, or the platters have moving parts. It has a read-write head, uses an electromagnet, data is stored as magnetized dots. So any of these three features written properly will give you 3 out of 3. Now give the reasons why an HDD is an example of secondary storage. Now this is a 2-mark question. Now you know HDD is an example of secondary storage because it is not accessed directly by the CPU and it stores the data permanently because for permanent storage or non-volatile memory we use an HDD and it is non-volatile. So if you have mentioned 2 valid reasons why HDD is an example of a secondary, first one is it's not accessed directly by the CPU, and second one, it's storing the data permanently, will definitely give you 2 out of 2. Any questions till now? Will we move ahead to the next question? Okay. Question number 3. A computer with a von Neumann architecture has several hardware components. Complete the table with the missing terms and descriptions about computer hardware. Now, this is the definition given to you, and you have to write down the proper term. This is the address given to the network interface card when it is manufactured. Network interface card given an address that is going to be given when it is manufactured. It means it is MAC address. Simple. Okay. Now, register. Register is a component in the CPU that is used to temporarily store data. Or you can say register is the temporary storage area inside the CPU. So that will give you another mark. Clock. Clock is there to control the number of fetch, decode, execute cycles or FDE cycles that are performed per second. That will give you complete 1 mark. Be clear, it controls the number of fetch, decode, execute cycles or FDE cycles that are performed per second. So per second is something that you are definitely going to mention along with FDE cycles. Number of FDE cycles that are performed in controlling the number of FDE cycles performed per second will give you total of 1 out of 1. Now CU, what is CU definition? Now this is one of the important ones that are coming in the paper quite frequently. A component in the CPU that manages the flow of data around the CPU, or a component that decodes the instruction. So this is how you will be scoring a mark for properly describing the term control unit. Now, this is another definition is here, another description is here. This is a processing unit within the CPU that can fetch, decode, and execute instructions. Processing unit within the CPU, so that is a core. As you recall, a dual core or a quad core. So this is present inside the CPU and that is there to fetch, decode, and execute the instructions. Be a little cautious. All the terms and descriptions are certain things that we have studied quite often in the class, done the past paper questions also. Write the proper terms and marks are going to be definitely yours. Now, part B. Identify 3 registers that are used in the fetch stage of the FDE cycle. Now, in the fetch stage. Now, be clear. Here you have to mention in the fetch stage. So, which are the registers? Program counter or PC, memory address register or MAR, memory data register or MDR, and CIR or current instruction register. Be clear. This is used in the fetch stage of the fetch, decode, execute or FDE cycle. Now, the next part C. Circle the 2 buses that are used in the fetch stage of the FDE cycle. Now, the terms are here: binary, control, denary, data, information, hardware, and software. So out of these, which are the 2 buses? The 2 buses that we need to mention here. Okay, correct. is going to be the control bus, and the next one is your data bus. Exactly. By the which is the other bus, which is not mentioned in this. Reason definitely we know, but still, which is the other bus? Just asking you. Yes, exactly. That is the address bus. So definitely, so simple. You are able to score marks just being a little with a little caution. You know the stuff and you are able to score your marks. Question number 4. A computer as an operating system. One function of the operating system is handling interrupts. Describe the role of the operating system in handling the interrupts. So, what is it doing? Now, interrupt, I hope that we all remember a signal that is sent by the device or software in case of some problems being encountered or once the task is accomplished. So, what is the operating system doing? It assigns a priority to an interrupt. So definitely all interrupt will be given a priority. It uses an interrupt handler or interrupt service routine or ISR if you remember to process the interrupt. It maintains or organizes the interrupt queue. So whichever interrupt is coming first in the queue, that will be managed first. So that is what the OS is doing in handling the interrupts. Give two other functions of an operating system. Now, apart from the one that is mentioned here of handling the interrupts, you have to mention any other two. So you can see managing the files, providing an interface, managing peripherals and drivers, managing memory or memory management, managing multitasking, providing a platform for running applications, providing system security, managing user accounts. So any two of what you have learned in the class regarding operating system tasks are supposed to be mentioned here, and you will be able to score 2 out of 2. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Hardware and software interrupts are two types of interrupts. Give one example of a hardware interrupt. So few are mentioned here. You can give any, like key press on a keyboard. The moment you press a key, it means an interrupt is generated. Button clicks on a mouse, that is also going to raise an interrupt. A printer out of ink, that is also a hardware interrupt. Printer out of paper, that is also a hardware interrupt. Paper jam and printer, that is also a hardware interrupt. Although there are many others also, but the basic ones that you all need to know are mentioned here, and if you have mentioned any one, you will be able to score 1 out of 1. Okay, now the next part. Give one example of a software interrupt. So anyone. Division by 0, that is going to generate a software interrupt. Two processes trying to access the same memory location is also going to raise a software interrupt. An exe file that cannot be found to initiate the execution of a program. So these are the 3 examples you need to know about the software interrupt. And if anyone is being asked, or any two can easily score if you remember any of these 1 or 2, or if you remember all 3 of them, that's more than wonderful. Now moving to question number 5. An online company has a website that allows a user to buy products. The user types in the URL for the website, and this is sent to a domain name server or DNS. Describe the role of the DNS. Now, what is the DNS doing? So if you remember a 2-mark question, so DNS is storing a database of the URLs and their matching IP addresses, and it searches its database for the matching IP address, sends a URL to another DNS server if URL is not found, and returns the IP address to the web browser. So this is the role of DNS. You can see all the stages mentioned in a sequence. Any 2 mentioned, you will be able to score 2 out of 2. And by the way, if anyone is facing problem with DNS, there's a video of DNS, so you can watch that video also. The link will be shared in the comments, and you can go through the video also. The website asks a user to input their username and password to log into their account. The company want to make their login system more secure. Tick one box to show one other security method that could be added to make the login system more secure. One is mentioned, the user IDs and the passwords. So out of the 4 mentioned here, access levels, firewall, spyware, or 2-step verification. So which one do you think should be added as a security method to improve the the security of the login system. Yes, children, what do you think is the right answer for that? Access level, firewall, spyware, or two-step verification? Okay, two-step verification. As we have learned that two-step verification is definitely going to improve the security of our whole system. So this is how you will be able to score an out of 1. Okay, part C. The company uses a proxy server to keep the web server safe from distributed denial of service attack or DDoS attacks. Complete an annotated diagram to show how a DDoS attack is carried out on the web server. So they have just shown you a web server and they want you to complete an annotated diagram to show how it is going to be carried out on the web server. So here they are expecting you to write, to draw and write in such a manner that there will be mark awarded for each of the point. Third party sending malware or users downloading or installing the malware on his own. Each computer is turned into a bot to create a botnet. Third party initiates the attack. All the bots send a request at once to the web server. It is going to crash the web server. So these are the points that they expect us to include in our answer for drawing an annotation, and you will be able to score. Giving you 2 minutes to very quickly draw it. Points are there in front of you, and then we will discuss. Hope that you're in the process. Web server is drawn for us, and we have to draw a diagram and annotate also to see that whether we are able to score for 5 out of 5. By the way, this is a simple one. Web server is all drawn for us. A third party is sending the malware that creates a bot net. As you can see, a number of bots are going to be generated, and malware turns the computers into bots. That forms a botnet. Then it is going to bombard, or all the requests will be sent to the web server, and the web server cannot actually handle so many of the requests, and it may crash in this case. So just web server is drawn for you. You were supposed to draw the diagram, including the third party, the botnet, and the arrows drawn with a simple thing written, and you will be able to score 5 out of 5. Not difficult, very simple. Now, part 2, identify 2 tasks that can be performed by a proxy server that are not performed by a firewall. So, although firewall and proxy are supposed to, like it is said that proxy is working like a firewall, but there are some tasks which cannot be handled by a firewall, but they are done by proxy, and you can see hide a public IP address or caching. So these are certain things which are performed by a proxy server and not performed by a firewall. Now, the next one, the company uses cookies to allow users to keep items in a shopping cart. The items remain in the cart after the user closes their website, their web browser. Tick one box to show the type of cookie that is used for this process. Now, see, uses cookies to allow users to keep items in a shopping cart. These items remain in the cart after the user closes their web browser. It means that they are still there. So which is the one? The type of cookie, if you recall. Okay, persistent cookies and session cookies. So yeah, exactly. So dynamic is not the right answer. Static is not the right answer. So we are left with any of these two. So is it persistent or is it session? Because it is remaining in the cart after the user closes their web browser. That is the persistent cookie, or you can say the permanent cookie. So that will again give you 1 out of 1. You've mentioned the right cookie and mark is yours. Now, give 3 other ways that the company can use cookies. What is it for? Again, this is again, we have done it in the class also. Any 3 from stores uses login details, stores uses payment details, stores uses preferences, and use for targeting the advertising, use for targeted advertising. So these are the main reasons of cookies. And by the way, are the cookies dangerous? Are they as dangerous as viruses or worms are? Okay, yes, that's great. They are not dangerous like the viruses are. They are simply the text files that are storing mainly the user's information, and they're not as dangerous as the viruses are. Cookies are stored by a web browser. That is one function. Give two other functions of a web browser. Now, just very simple. Storing bookmarks, recording user history, allowing use of multiple tabs, providing navigation tools, providing an address bar, and many others that you have talked about. A few of them are mentioned here and you can recall, and 2 marks are yours. So simple. Question number 6. A weather station uses automated system to collect and analyze data about the weather. The automated system uses sensors. Give one other component that would be part of the automated system. Now, one is mentioned, which is the one that you can see here. This one is sensors. So, which are the other ones? You can see one is sensors that is given to us, and which are the other? Any one other one. It can be microprocessor, actuator. It can use storage or the memory. So, in this manner, 1 mark is yours. One sensor that is part of the automated system is a temperature sensor. Give one other sensor that could be part of the automated system. Now, please be careful that you have to just be clear about the situation, a weather station. So, one sensor is temperature. So, in a weather station, what else are we supposed to see? It can be a humidity sensor, it can be light sensor, it can be level sensor, it can be infrared sensor. So, anyone from here, from this list, and you will be able to score 1 out of 1. An alert is sent, now part C. An alert is sent to an employee in the weather office if a temperature above 40 degrees centigrade is detected. Explain how a temperature above 40 degrees centigrade is detected for the alert. Now, this is an example of monitoring application. Fine. So for this, you need to recall the thing that you have learned for monitoring applications, and the stages are for a 3 mark question. A microprocessor is used. Microprocessor receives data from the sensors. Microprocessor is going to compare the data against the preset value of 40 degrees. If the data is greater than 40 degrees, the microprocessor sends a signal to trigger the alert so that it will be sent to the weather station. This is how, if you have mentioned the stages properly in the sequence, you will definitely be able to score 3 out of 3. Not a difficult thing at all to score the marks. Now, part 2, C2. The data for the alert is sent using serial simplex data transmission. Explain how data is sent using serial simplex data transmission. Now, you can see this is a 3 mark question. So they want you to explain serial, that is, data is sent 1 bit at a time over a single wire, and simplex, data can only be sent in one direction. By the way, I hope that we remember simplex and duplex, half duplex. So simplex means one direction, and where you have explained the serial transmission properly, like 1 bit at a time over a single wire. So 3 marks are definitely yours in hardly 2 minutes. Part D. Give two advantages to the weather station employees of using an automated weather system. So, what are the benefits? You can see the employees do not need to carry out a mundane, repetitive task. Employees do not need to work overnight. Employees do not need to work outside in adverse weather situations, and creates maintenance, and it is going to create maintenance jobs for the system. Now, these are your points that you can mention regarding the advantages to the employees of using an automated weather system. Moving to the disadvantage. Give one disadvantage to the weather station employees of using an automated weather system, that is part E. And very big disadvantages, it may de-skill the employees, and it may replace employees and take their job. So one of the threats is unemployment and de-skilling, like loss of skilled labor due to the introduction of technology, that is de-skilling the employees. So in this manner, you have mentioned the answer and you will be able to score 1 out of 1. Part F. The automated weather system is upgraded and given machine learning capabilities. Machine learning is part of a branch of computer science. Identify the name of the branch of computer science that is artificial intelligence or AI, and 1 mark is yours. Explain how the machine learning capabilities can be used to predict future weather. Now, how machine learning will help in future. So you can see this is what we have discussed in normal circumstances. Like talking about machine learning, how is it helpful? It can adapt its own processes or it can adapt its own data. It could analyze the data for the trends or the patterns and predict future weather patterns based on the patterns. And feedback is given on weather predictions. It changes future predictions based on the feedback. It could learn what weather occurs at certain times of the year and uses this to predict what the weather would be like at the same time of the year and adapt its rules, processes for weather predictions. So, any 3 points explained in your own words dealing with this. Machine is there to adapt to the new processes, it is there to analyze the trends, it is able to predict the future based on the current trend being stored. The feedback, important thing is the role of the feedback, and you have mentioned it properly explained. Most important thing, you're able to explain your answer. So you will definitely be able to score 3 out of 3. Be clear. The words may differ, but the points should be the ones that are covered here, and the marks are going to be yours. Question number 7. Data is sent from an employee's computer to a server. The data is correct when it is sent, but an error is detected when the data is received. Describe how an error can occur in the data during transmission. So, how can an error occur? It can suffer, maybe it can occur due to interference or cross-talking that could have caused the data to be lost or data to be gained, or it can be there to cause the data to change also. So these are the main reasons of having a problem or having an error in transmission you mentioned, and definitely the marks are yours. Part B. Methods of error detection and correction can be added to make sure that errors are identified after data is transmitted. Complete the statements about methods of error detection and correction. Use the terms from the list. Not all the terms to be used, or not all the terms need to be used. You should only use each term once. And which are the terms? Acknowledgement, ARQ, binary, bit, byte, calculation, check digit, checksum, correct, echo check, error, even, incorrect, negative, number, odd, positive, timeout. Now, these are the terms that are given to us and a few blanks. A parity check is said to be blank or blank. A parity blank is added to each byte before transmission to make it match the set parity. And blank involves comparing the data sent to the data received back from this receiving device. And dash uses acknowledgement and dash. Acknowledgement system can be dash or dash. So it's an 8 mark. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blanks. And some of the terms might be used more than once, and some of the terms might not be used. So this is your question. Let's see how quickly we can manage it. A parity check is sent to be odd or even. A parity bit is added to each byte before transmission to make it match the set parity. Okay, and is a very clear indication comparing the data sent to the data received back from the receiving device. So if you recall, which check is the one that is involving the comparison of the data sent to the data received? It is okay. And what about the, again, another and uses acknowledgement and, now if you recall, acknowledgement and what? The terms are here. Okay. An echo check involves comparing the data sent to the data received back from the receiving device. And an acknowledgement is actually acknowledgement and timeout are part of ARQ, and the acknowledgement can be positive or negative. So in this manner, you can see A parity check is said to be odd or even. A parity bit is added to each byte before transmission to make it match the set parity. An echo check involves comparing the data sent to the data received back from the receiving device. An ARQ, if not automatic repeat request or an automatic repeat query, uses acknowledgement and timeout. The acknowledgement system can be positive or negative. And this is how you will be able to score 8 out of 8 in such a short span of time. Isn't it easy to score? Okay, how was this journey? Jazakallah khairan Kasira for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have liked the video, subscribe the channel, share with your friends and family so they all are going to benefit from it. Stay tuned, stay updated so that you are updated about the latest videos that are uploaded quite frequently. Allah Hafiz, take very good care of yourselves and your loved ones. May Allah bless you, may Allah help you.